Welcome to the action. We are diving straight into the thrilling 2026 Miami GP Sprint, where the battle for fourth place was intense. Watch as George Russell and Kimi Antonelli engage in a fierce seesaw contest early in the race. We have the highlights and the start line drama you need to see right now.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSocket's Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
The drama continues as Kimi Antonelli faces a significant setback in the Miami GP Sprint. After crossing the line in fourth place, the Italian teenager was handed a post-race time penalty for repeated track limits violations, which unfortunately dropped him down to sixth in the final standings behind both George Russell and Max Verstappen. Find out exactly how many infringements led to this major penalty and what this means for the rest of the weekend. Meanwhile, we turn our attention to George Russell's perspective after the sprint. George Russell shared his honest thoughts on the Miami track, admitting that he is not in a great groove and is struggling with the conditions. We break down what Russell is experiencing on the Miami International Autodrome and whether this performance is a major concern heading into the main Grand Prix. And finally, we look at the qualifying battle as George Russell watched the gap to Kimi Antonelli. George Russell described his experience in qualifying as a real struggle, noting a lack of pace relative to his teammate. Find out Russell's candid assessment of the track conditions and what he believes is the path forward for the Mercedes team in the upcoming race. Stay with us for more breaking news. The 2026 Miami Grand Prix Sprint delivered intense on-track action, highlighted by a fierce battle for the fourth position between Mercedes teammates Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. The early stages of the sprint saw the two drivers trading positions in a tight contest for the coveted spot. The race featured several key moments, including a dramatic start where Norris took the lead from the outset, while Antonelli managed to climb to fourth place during the initial start sequence. Meanwhile, the field saw other notable events, such as Nico Hülkenberg making a sudden halt en route to the grid. Looking ahead to the qualifying session, the technical updates were significant, culminating in Norris securing pole position for the sprint, setting the stage for the high-stakes competition. Kimi Antonelli suffered a significant setback at the 2026 Formula One Miami Grand Prix Sprint after receiving a post-race time penalty for repeated track limits violations. The penalty dropped the Italian teenager from fourth place to sixth in the final standings. The penalty was imposed after Antonelli accumulated 4 track limits infringements during the race, with the final violation occurring on the last lap. A black-and-white flag served as his final warning on lap 12, but Antonelli subsequently committed another infringement on the final lap, triggering the 5-second penalty. This demotion cost Antonelli 3 sprint points instead of the 5 he would have earned for finishing fourth. The position shift saw George Russell and Max Verstappen move ahead of him in the sprint classification. The timing of the incident is notable as Antonelli enters the Miami Grand Prix weekend as the youngest driver's championship leader in Formula One history. Mercedes is now looking to use this event as a crucial lesson ahead of Sunday's main Grand Prix, emphasizing the importance of track limits management. In contrast, McLaren secured a dominant sprint victory, with Norris taking the win and Oscar Piastri finishing second, both claiming maximum points. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc finished third, while George Russell ultimately secured fourth place for Mercedes following the penalty, and Max Verstappen moved up to fifth for Red Bull Racing. Antonelli's penalty reduced his points haul, while Lewis Hamilton finished seventh for Ferrari, and Pierre Gasly secured the final point for Alpine. The strong performance by McLaren provides a significant boost heading into the main race at the Miami International Autodrome. In a candid assessment of his performance at the Miami Grand Prix, Formula One driver George Russell admitted to struggling to find a rhythm on the challenging Miami circuit. According to reports from Sky Sports on Saturday, May 2, 2026, Russell stated that he was not in a great groove during the race. This comment suggests that the driver encountered difficulties adapting to the specific demands and characteristics of the Miami track, indicating potential issues with car setup, tire management, or overall pace management during the event. The feedback highlights a point of contention for Russell as he seeks to improve his performance on this particular venue in the highly competitive Formula One landscape. Formula One driver George Russell expressed no major concern regarding the gap to Mercedes teammate Kimi Antonelli during qualifying for the Miami Grand Prix, despite a challenging session. Russell described his experience at the Miami International Autodrome as a real struggle, noting a low-key performance during qualifying. He was observed to be running several tenths slower than Antonelli in both grid-deciding sessions at the Florida venue. While Antonelli secured pole position for Sunday's race, adding to his previous sprint pole, Russell qualified in 5th position, behind Red Bull's Max Verstappen, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, and McLaren's Lando Norris. Russell indicated that 5th was not his ceiling, suggesting P3 was achievable, but attributed his performance to the track's characteristics, citing low grip and high temperatures as significant hurdles. Despite the qualifying result, Russell managed to reduce Antonelli's championship lead from 9 points to 7 points during the sprint race earlier on Saturday, following a slow start and penalty for track limits imposed on the teammate. When questioned about the potential for a more competitive Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren to help him challenge Antonelli on Sunday, Russell remained cautious, stating, "Potentially, but I don't really know, to be honest. Tomorrow, who knows what the weather will bring. It'll be interesting."